Good morning, everyone. This is Diane. I was just about to start copy dyeing some paper for the journal project I'm working on, and then I remembered that someone had asked me to share my copy dyeing procedures. So I already got some of it set up. I just put hot water in this large pan. I use it for lasagna. I don't know what it measures, probably 10 by 13. And then I don't have a formula. I just put water in it, hot water, and then poured coffee in it. Instant coffee, just the cheap kind. And I cleared off my kitchen counter, and I just spread out paper toweling on it. I have another area next to on the other side of my sink that I will also put paper toweling on. So that's done. I get my pretty dish towel out of the way so I don't drip coffee on it and ruin it. I have these old cookie sheets that are just reserved for coffee dyeing now, but I also have a pizza pan with the holes in it. And I have a set of 3 of the Nordic Ware pans. They're 3 different sizes. The problem with these is it says Nordic Ware in the center, and this will imprint on your paper. But I like the pattern that it makes. So I have all of these things ready and handy. I have my papers here that I'm going to use. I brought down some patterned paper, some copy paper, some lined paper, and I'm going to try this dot grid sketchbook that I got on clearance at Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to pull some of those papers out and try that. I also have this lace that is pretty stained. So I'm going to copy dye that and see how it looks. And that's all I have to copy dye today. I want to get going on this project. I pretty much finished the signatures for the farm journal, the Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm, yesterday. So I'm going to get some work done on 2 more farm journals. Hopefully get them in the shop the end of this week or beginning of next week. So that's what these papers are for. So let's just get started. I just discovered a feature on my tripod that I never knew it had. I have, there was this little crank thing on it that I never even noticed. It shows how much I pay attention. I'm just dropping my lace in here. Let it soak for a bit. So I turned the crank to see what would happen, and it raised my camera up. So that is really awesome. I don't know what that'll do for my videos in my craft room, but I might be able to get better angles. We'll see. I have an old dish towel here that I can wipe my hands on and wipe up drips and stuff. I don't think this needs to soak too much, so I'll just wring it out. And lay it on the paper towel. I'm not going to put the ribbon or the lace in the oven. So let's get started on this paper. I keep my pattern paper 12 by 12 inches because the edges will sometimes tear. So when you cut your paper down to size, you can cut off those torn edges. And can you see? Let me move this a little bit. The pan isn't quite wide enough, so I just kind of push it down, and it kind of crinkles up in there, which is fine. But I don't usually put more than 2 of the large sheets in there, and then I might put in a couple of the copy paper sheets. This is the really nice quality copy paper. I don't know that I've ever copy dyed this before. I just recently started getting some papers from Red River, And I also ordered a pack from Amazon, which I forgot what it is, but I will let you know. So I'm not sure which one this is. But before, I have gotten the heaviest copy paper that you can get at Walmart. And it worked well, but I really love the quality. These are heavier and smoother and so nice. So I have my oven set at 350, which is higher than some people do. I know some people use it at 350, but I don't like to spend a lot of time doing this. And so I don't leave the room while it's in there, while the paper is in the oven. And I have 3 trays, 3 racks in there. So I just kind of rotate things and get them out and get things moving and get on my way. So I just let the paper sit in there for a little bit and I pull it out. The tripod's right here where I need to be, so I'm going to move around it here. After I get this paper out and put the next set of papers in, I'm going to show you something else that I sometimes do for a special effect, and I haven't done it in a while. These papers are not as heavy as that nice quality. Sorry, I bumped the camera, and I just tore the corner, which is fine because paper's bigger than I need it to be. So you just must be careful as you lift it out of the coffee bath so you don't tear it any more than you have to. Now I'm going to turn the camera a little bit so you can see what I'm going to do. Just turn the tripod so it doesn't make so much noise. I think I probably need to close the curtain. Does that help? Okay, so sometimes I take my salt shaker and sprinkle salt on the wet paper, and it reacts with the water and causes speckles. You can see it happening already. Right there. And just brush the salt off when you're done, when the paper's all dry. So that makes a nice effect sometimes. Now I'm back to putting some more paper in here. This is the dot matrix, or dot, whatever that was, that paper, the grid, dot grid paper. And it fits in there quite nicely. And I'll put some of my lined paper. This is a good quality lined paper. It's like a project notebook. Maybe it was by Cambridge, I don't remember, but Cambridge brand has very nice quality papers in their notebooks. They have nice grid paper too. And the backs of their notebooks are really, really sturdy cardboard, so they're really good to use for covers. That's Cambridge. You can get Cambridge at Walmart even. So I don't want to soak it too long, just a few minutes. And while that soaks, I put these papers on a tray and get them in the oven. So eventually, my soaking the papers that are dripping on my paper towel will fill up faster than I can get them dried in the oven, so I have to wait. I don't do more papers than I can put out on my paper towels. Sometimes I layer them, just lace them on top, but I don't like to do that because they stick and then they tear. So I usually just do a single layer on my paper towels. Some people do double layers or even more in the oven. I've seen where people will stack 4 or 5 sheets of paper on their tray and put it in the oven. But I tried to do that, and they must have to take some papers off as they dry because the ones on top got too crispy and the ones underneath were still wet. Looks like the red lines on that lined paper are blurring a little bit. They're not exactly running, but they're maybe a little bit blurrier. But that's okay. I kind of like that. Don't mind at all. So I got my pizza pan at Big Lots, I think. And I got the Nordic Ware pans at Walmart, just in case you were wondering. Those two dot papers stuck together, so I'm carefully peeling them apart so I can separate them on the paper towels. Okay, I only put 2 trays in the oven, so I'm gonna get another one in there. And I usually have 4 trays in rotation, so I'll have another tray ready to go in as soon as one comes out. The pizza pan, because of the holes in it, the paper on the pizza pan dries quicker. So you have to watch that because the holes let the air and the heat through. Okay, so now we have, well, we don't have papers in the water, but we have papers, a few on the paper towels and 3 trays in the oven and another tray on deck waiting. So we're in full production now. Do a couple more of these pattern papers. Some copy paper. I've been keeping ahead of my copy paper needs, but I ran out. Every time I do patterned paper I want specific papers for a certain journal, then I do extra of these copy papers so that I always have some waiting in the wings. But I've really been producing a lot of journals and I ran out. I like it when I can do journals without coffee dyed paper like the Kate Greenaway. Gives a nice fresh look and you don't have to do the coffee dyeing, but you do have to do other work on it. You don't have to, but I do. Coloring it some other way, like with stencils and sprays and stuff. But you can just leave it white, especially this pretty heavy, gorgeous, smooth paper. That would look really nice just being left white. I just have a problem doing that. I think I need to retrain my brain that it's okay to have white space in your journal. Since I did salt on a couple, I'll put some salt on some of these too, because if I have some speckled, I better have more than 2. And once they're dry, you'll be able to see the speckled effect. Then I'll have to go check that pizza pan one. Okay, I'm going to sprinkle some salt on. Salt's cheap enough. It doesn't cost too much to add that special effect. Okay, the pizza pan paper is dry already. So I took that out and put the next one in. Sometimes the papers overlap on the cookie sheets and I just have to kind of move them a little bit so the overlapped part will dry. So that's what I just did. I separated, kind of turn them around so that the wet parts are not touching anymore. Look. So these are they're still a little bit wet because these were overlapped on the pizza pan. So this part's a little bit wet. There's some black there. I'm not sure why, but that's okay. I don't mind. So that's what they look like from the pizza pan, and you can see the speckling where I put the salt. You could be more sparing with the salt if you don't want that much speckling. So I have a chest freezer just in the little area next to my kitchen, so I stack my papers on that. I'm not going to have the camera on for the whole process, but I had promised someone that I would do this video the next time I copy dyed. This is my technique. I have seen techniques done by other people that are quite different from the way I do it, but this is what I have come up with that works for me. You can use, I have used tea bags instead of coffee. It gives a different kind of a color, maybe a little more subtle, but very pretty. Honeyed kind of, but I guess it depends on the type of tea you use. I always got the box of cheap, really cheap tea bags. Well, I'm running out of room on my paper toweling, so I think that'll be enough paper till I get some more onto cookie sheets. So you've seen the process from the dipping of the paper till taking it out of the oven, so I think that shows you pretty much what I do and how I dye my paper, and I hope it was helpful to you. And I'm going to turn it off and finish dyeing my paper. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.